Internet brokers aka IBKR and Moomoo are both popular low-cost brokerage platforms for Singapore investors. But which is a better option to use? Well, that's what I'm going to find out in this video, but I do a side-by-side comparison between both brokerage platforms based on 4 key factors. Number 1, access to markets, costs, user-friendliness, and finally, style rewards for new users. Now, I'm doing this comparison based on perspective of a stock market investor, so if you're a forex or cryptocurrency trader, then this video might not be for you. So with that said, let's look at the first factor of access to markets. Now on the Moomoo platform, you get access to 5 stock market exchanges, namely Singapore, US, Hong Kong, China, and finally Japan. In comparison, IBKR has a more diverse range of access to markets, as it covers not only open mentioned markets, but also other markets in the Europe and Asia Pacific regions. Now this will be crucial for ETF investors who are looking to invest in low-cost Irish domiciled ETFs that are listed on the London Stock Exchange. You're only able to do so on the IBKR platform, as Moomoo has no access to London Stock Exchange. If you're interested to find out more about ETF, check out my video over here. I've highlighted some potential attractive ETFs for Singapore investors. So based on the criteria of access to markets, I think IBKR easily beats Moomoo in this aspect. Now moving on to cost next. Most investors will consider the brokerage platforms, trading and commission costs, platform fees, and custodian fees. While these are important to consider, there's an often overlooked aspect, which is the foreign currency conversion spread. So this factor of cost, I'm looking at both the trading costs of IBKR and Moomoo, and also the foreign currency conversion spread when converting SGD to other currencies on their respective platforms. Now as Moomoo only has access to 5 markets, I'll be basing the comparison of trading costs on these 5 markets. Starting in the Singapore market, Moomoo currently offers commission-free trading for the first year for new users. After the 1-year period, the relevant commission cost would then be 0.03% of transaction amount for a minimum of 99 cents per order. This is cheaper than IBKR's commission of 0.08% of the transaction amount for a minimum of $2.50 per order. However, with any other fees such as platform and third-party exchange fees, the total trading cost for Moomoo will be 0.1% after the first year. Thus, in the long run, Moomoo will only be cheaper than IBKR if you trade 2.5k or less in the Singapore market. And if you're thinking of splitting out a big trade into multiple small trades which cheaper on the Moomoo platform, sorry to burst a bubble, it does not work that way. So this is an example of a trade order of 10k. The relevant trading costs via a single trade on Moomoo will be $10, while this will be $8 on the IBKR platform. Now if you were to split your 10k trade order into 4 different trades of 2.5k each, your total commission on the Moomoo platform will be $11.92, as compared to $10 on the IBKR platform. As you can see, breaking down a big trade into multiple small trades offers no cost advantage, but will instead incur more trading fees. Hence, if you're intending to invest in the Singapore market for long term, I would say IBKR would be a better platform. Now moving on to the Hong Kong market next, IBKR will be a cheaper option for most investors. What moves the lower overall commission fee, the flat platform fee, and third-party fees really jack up the overall trade costs. Nevertheless, Moomoo could be a cheaper option if the transaction amount is higher than 38,331 Hong Kong dollars. Similar to the Hong Kong market, IBKR will also be a cheaper option for most investors for a China market. The transaction threshold that will move a cheaper option will be renminbi $36,066 for stocks and renminbi $32,609 for ETFs. Do note that this amount does not include platform fees incurred if you were to hold Chinese AHS stocks via the Moomoo platform. For the Japan market, IBKR is easily a cheaper option due to the absence of platform fees and third-party fees. Now last but not least, for the US market, both IBKR and Moomoo really offer competitive fees, with Moomoo even having commission-free trading. Now as compared to the 4 markets previously mentioned, the US market is a bit more unique as the commission fees are based on the number of shares traded. Thus, if you're trading a low number of shares, IBKR will be a cheaper option than Moomoo. However, if you are trading 495 shares or more, then Moomoo might be a cheaper option even after factoring in the platform fee. Now this will not apply if you are trading penny stocks, as there's a possibility that 1% of the transaction amount will be lower than total commissions charged based on the number of shares traded. Thus, for penny stocks trading, IBKR will be a cheaper option even if you're trading more than 495 shares. Now before jumping to the conclusion that Moomoo could be a cheaper option if you trade more than 495 shares on the US market, you might want to consider their respective currency conversion spreads. Now currency conversion spread is basically the currency conversion difference that the brokerage platforms offer as compared to the actual market exchange rate. The currency conversion spread for Moomoo is about 0.4%, while with a maximum of 0.03% for IBKR if you're using auto currency conversion. It could even be lower at about 0.02% if you do a spot currency conversion trade. However, for IBKR, there's a minimum commission of $2 per order. So as you convert higher amounts of HGD to USD, this difference in currency spread only continue to increase. However, if you're converting smaller amounts of CSGD for $839 or less, then Moomoo could be a better option than IBKR as long as the spread difference is $2 or less. So all things considered based on the cost factor, I still think that IBKR is a better option for long term as compared to Moomoo. This is because it continues building our investment portfolio. Your transaction amount per trade will likely increase, which will equate to a higher amount of HGD currency being converted to foreign currency. Thus, the cost savings from IBKR's currency conversion spread will likely exceed any cost savings from Moomoo's lower commission fees on its platform. So moving on to the next factor of user-friendliness, I'll be comparing both the mobile app interface and desktop interfaces of both Moomoo and IBKR's platform. I'll also be highlighting any unique features that I found on these two platforms. So starting with the mobile app interface, both platforms have a roughly similar layout with categories as icons at the bottom. Both platform interfaces of stock trading are also roughly similar and fairly straightforward. An advantage that Moomoo has over IBKR is its free Nasdaq real-time quotes. This allows investors to see the buy and sell orders in the order book, which could be useful in deciding the general market trend. For IBKR also has this feature, you have to pay for a monthly subscription for it to be available to you. As compared to IBKR, Moomoo also has a comments feature for each stock that allows users to share their viewpoints about the stock. Personally, I find these comments with extra unnecessary noise, but I do acknowledge that some investors might find value in the thoughts of others. Nevertheless, you should always do your own research about the stock and not depend on the viewpoint of others to make your stock investment decisions. In terms of fund transfer to the platform, I find it's easier to do so on the IBKR app as compared to Moomoo. For IBKR, you simply tap on your profile at the top left-hand corner and choose deposit funds accordingly. On the Moomoo app, it's not clearly defined as the user to access it by the account icon and then go to transfers and select deposit. Nevertheless, you do receive your funds faster on Moomoo as compared to IBKR. Also, IBKR only has one free withdrawal per month, with subsequent additional withdrawals within the month having to incur an additional $3 fee. For my knowledge, Moomoo does not charge any withdrawal fees and also receive your funds faster via Moomoo than IBKR. Also, last but not least, for a mobile app interface, I do find Moomoo's in-app advertisements to be rather annoying. Thankfully, there are no such advertisements on IBKR mobile app. As a whole, for mobile app interface, I feel that Moomoo is targeting younger and newer investors with the more attractive and aesthetically pleasing features in the mobile app. On the other hand, IBKR offers a more professional and clean mobile app layout. Moving on to the desktop interface next, both IBKR and Moomoo have relatively similar type of interfaces, with just some slight interface design differences. In my opinion, both new or advanced investors should have no issue navigating the desktop interfaces of Moomoo or IBKR. An additional feature that both Moomoo and IBKR has over their mobile app is the built-in market screener. Using this screener, it allows investors to screen for stocks that fulfill or meet their investing criteria. As a whole, for desktop interfaces, I think both are done really well and should serve the purposes of most investors. Nevertheless, you might be lacking certain technical indicators for more advanced stock market traders. Now, moving on to the last factor of some rewards for new users, I think Moomoo clearly trumps IBKR in this aspect. Currently, there is a promotion due 31st October 2024, where new users can get stock rewards and up to 6.8% return on their cash for the first 30 days when they subscribe to Moomoo Cash Plus. Now, the amount of stock rewarded will be dependent on the amount of funds deposited in the Moomoo platform and also the fulfillment of certain trade requirements. Although your stock rewards will be frozen in the Moomoo account for a certain number of days depending on the deposit tier. So as maintain the minimum deposit amount in your account during these specific days, else the rewards might be forfeited. If you feel that Moomoo is the right brokerage platform for you, click the affiliate link below and sign up for a new account with Moomoo. As compared to Moomoo, IBKR has no ongoing offers or promotions for new users. Nevertheless, you can still get up to $1,000 worth of IBKR stock if you sign up for an IBKR account via my referral link below. Do note this reordered IBKR stock can only be sold on the market after 1 year. It still has maintained a corresponding amount of value in your account during the entire 1 year period, else awarded IBKR stock will be adjusted accordingly. As a whole, based on the 4 factors, and also for a perspective of a long-term investor, I will still pick IBKR as a preferred platform over Moomoo, mainly due to the smaller currency conversion spread. This is the reason why IBKR is still my main platform that I use when investing in US or Hong Kong markets. While Moomoo is great for younger and newer investors with limited capital, I think it's worthwhile to think a little further down the road as our investment capital will only increase as our income level rises. Also, do take note of transfer out fees when thinking of moving from one platform to the other, as this could be crucial in your overall cost analysis.